about nothing. It's me, your boy, the hottest dude in the podcast game, Sebastian Conelli. And as always, per usual, we got the cute boy here himself, Robbie boy. Robbie, say hello to beautiful people.
Beautiful people, what's going on?
Hello, beautiful people. Thank you again for tuning in. It means the world to us that you're here. If you like the podcast, please share it with your friends. Go ahead and check out our YouTube and comment on the YouTube if you're enjoying it. We love to hear what you like about the episode, or if you have thoughts about something that we talked about.
Yes, please. If you have any friends in your life that are fans of the very popular hit television show Severance, feel free to send them the episode that we did with Zach Cherry and be like, hey, I know you like the show. I like this podcast. They had this person from the show that you like on the podcast. I think you would like it.
That's a great
And maybe
way.
you talk about it with your friend.
Wow, even better. Send it to a crush.
Send it to a crush.
There you go.
Yeah, it's always good to be on the in, I think.
Yeah.
I think I always viewed that as attractive.
What?
Like, I know shit before the general public.
You viewed it in yourself as attractive or in other people?
In myself.
I knew that was the answer.
But then also in other people.
No.
The people you meet in those spaces. If somebody's putting you on, I just happen to be putting more people on than I'm put on.
Listen, one of the most attractive things that I could do is no things.
Before the general public.
Before general, one of the hottest things about me. One of the hottest things about me is I know things before you.
I think that's, yeah. I always, it means you're like in tune with artist circles or something like that.
Yeah,
like you're in the indie scene.
Interests.
Yeah, you have interests that go beyond the surface.
Of course. I think it's good when people have interests that go beyond the surface.
It's actually high art if your YouTube video has under 1,000 views. It actually becomes into a new realm of indie podcast making. Yeah. Well, there's indie filmmaking. There's also indie podcast making, and it is dying out.
It is.
It's getting harder and harder. There was this joke back in the day. Everybody's starting a podcast. There's all these indie podcasts. A whole industry of podcasting was pretty much indie people.
Well, that was the point of it.
Yes, and that has disappeared for the most part.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I would say it's disappeared, but sometimes I just love hearing celebrities talk about.
Well, that's what it is now. It's not indie.
How
it's
they
celebrities.
like Reuben sandwiches.
Yeah. I preferred the time when some like random guy in my improv class who lives in, I don't know, deep Queens and is from who knows where in the middle of the country was making some niche podcast about bobbleheads. And he's like, you want to come on and talk about your favorite bobblehead? You're going to meet me an hour and a half outside of Midtown? And that was like the vibe of podcasting. I prefer that to now every celebrity has a podcast.
Yeah, of course.
That's sponsored by all these different big corporate sponsors. It gets pushed down your throat. Like, I prefer that.
Well,
so it is art if it's indie, actually. People have been like, oh, you're creating, you're an artist. They're saying this to me recently. And I'm like, yeah.
Wow. And how do you respond?
I don't know.
Well, let's take you through that. What's stopping you from saying I am an artist?
I am an artiste. I do say that probably,
you
but
say
I need to.
Because you can't even say artist.
Exactly. Yeah.
I go like this. I create art.
That's good.
That's it.
You do. You perform more. You perform every week.
I
think live performance is art for sure.
And also I act.
Yes.
A little bit.
So I just mainly am doing this. So I'm like, yeah, it's more troubling. I think.
It's confusing.
I'm like, am I an artist?
You could say artist.
Yeah, I think about art a lot. I say that.
You know what?
I critique and talk about art.
We should take a page out of actors' books.
Yeah.
Because I once said to a person who was in a level 1 acting class with me that has never done anything in their entire life for acting.
Yes.
And I said, and we're all meeting on the first day. They never did anything. They go, this is my first time ever performing acting. And I go, oh, you want to be an actor? And they looked at me. They go, I am an actor.
I love it.
We need to take a book out of that person's page.
Yes.
We didn't even get up and do a scene yet.
Yes.
This person never even do a scene. That's like someone walking into, I don't know, Guitar Center and be like, nah, I'm a bass player. Have you ever touched one? Nope.
Sometimes you just know.
Sometimes, and this person
it lives inside of you.
And I was blown away to just turn to me and go, I am like, how dare you? After the minutes of training I've had by doing a warm-up game, by introducing myself, you not call me an actor.
They were right, unfortunately.
They were right.
You were wrong.
I was in the wrong.
I hate to break it to you.
I was in the wrong.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter. You're right, because there's people that have no connection to real art that are able to make a living in creative fields. So
also, there's a beauty in I think there's a beauty in being like, I'm an artist, and it not being we tie it to money,
to capitalism.
We tie it to money.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with money.
Yes.
And so I'm making fun of that guy for saying that he was an actor because he never acted. But if someone acts all the time but never gets paid, they're still a freaking actor.
Yeah, of course.
If someone plays basketball every weekend, they're still a basketball player.
Yeah, of course.
We need to stop equating that they made $10 doing it.
Yes.
I remember the first time I made money doing comedy, I was like, finally, I'm a comedian.
Yes.
I wasn't. I worked so hard before that. And the first time you make money from your art is the worst art that you're probably doing.
Maybe so.
Rob?
What?
The first time it's never like, oh, I'm going to finally get paid for my art because my voice is being heard. It's for a commercial.
Yeah, it's different things.
It's you're doing a corporate gig. You're doing, it's usually something that you're not proud of as an artist.
Yes.
So that is interesting that it takes, because I'm like trying to find my own blocks on why I struggle with it.
Yeah, I'll be like artiste, I say.
Artiste.
Which is what you say.
It's a defense mechanism.
It is a little bit.
Well, we have those, Rob.
Yes. But anyways, send it to a friend. It's a Terry episode. Because I thought it was a nice interview. I think you see a different side. I think we do a good job of bringing out sides of people that you don't always see.
It was fun.
Yeah.
We also had a good time.
We have a good time.
Yeah,
you can
that's
not disarm people, but you can get to see who someone really is. I think in a lot of different ways. I think Hot Ones does it by stressing them out. I think there's this chicken shop date. She does it by flirting. And I think if you're just fun and silly, that also is another way to just bring out a fun, silly side of someone.
You know what we do, Rob?
What?
They sit across the table. They go, I'm not going to look stupider than them.
Exactly.
No matter what.
Yes.
The biggest mistake in the episode is not going to be me.
Yeah, 100%.
They go,
we'll make them feel fun. They are funny.
They go, I could be loose. I could say this. I could do that, because no matter what, these two botchagaloops they're gonna do worse, which is great.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, I love making someone feel safe because of how dumb I appear.
I'll take care of you.
Oh, please. Yeah. If you need me emotionally to be the dumbest person in your mindset of this group, great. Yes. If it makes you happier.
I like that. I think it's or at least unafraid to embarrass yourself, to look stupid. It's okay to look stupid.
Yeah.
You'll get over it.
Oh, God, I don't care about I've never cared about getting the facts right, and that's why I'm not in fucking government.
Yeah.
Okay? It's crazy to me that people who aren't working in science or government are so worried about getting facts right. We could be loosey-goosey with this, baby.
You can be loosey-goosey.
Here's the thing,
There's a lot of people that are extremely loosey-goosey.
Oh, but they're usually the people we need to be strict.
I know but they're under the guise of we're being serious.
How come every social media manager has to get her facts right?
I don't know. Who is this?
I don't know. I'm thinking of some one particular person.
Clearly.
Clearly.
There's so many social media managers. That's such a vague job.
Oh, anyone. People whose job isn't so fact-based.
Okay.
Right? It's just what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Get a fact wrong.
Yeah.
Get a fact wrong.
Yeah, it's okay.
And be okay saying a word wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Looking stupid. I looked stupid this weekend.
You did?
Yeah, I did. Very stupid. But it is what it is. I'm at with the Knicks. It's nice when the Knicks are in the second round. Now a Knick game falls on a day everybody has off. It becomes kind of like a holiday in New York, which is nice.
Yeah.
They lost.
Not everyone, Rob.
You had to work.
Yeah,
but you listened to it on the radio.
We didn't.
You didn't?
No.
Okay. Well, they lost.
I know.
There was not much to hear. But if it had been a big, exciting win, that would have been tough. We don't need to get into that. But it was nice. It's nice. A lot of people come together. I think it's a fun spirit. My first time ever like living in New York for summer 2014, the Rangers went on like a deep Stanley Cup run, and it was just like fun that the whole city comes together to hang out.
Yeah.
They say people need an excuse to hang out.
Yeah.
So anyways, whatever. I'm watching the Knicks game at a bar in Brooklyn, and I'm smoking a joint.
Were you with friends?
With friends.
Nice.
And I'm smoking a joint outside of the bar, and this guy comes up to me, and he's like, "Yo, I want to take a picture of just like the joint, and then like the New York on the jersey." He wanted to. He was like excited. He thought it looked cool to take this picture of the joint in the New York on the jersey.
I love this.
And I like, oh yeah, let me wait 1 second. And I go to take like a big drag of the joint, and I have a like 2-minute long coughing fit. And the guy, and I'm like, wait, no, I want you.
Take the pic.
I could not.
Oh,
and
no.
I'm like, I couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
It was, I like went to go take a huge drag, and it killed me for 2 whole minutes. The guy's like, I'm good, man. It's okay.
No picker.
No pick. He walked away. It was,
Wow.
I couldn't smoke the joint. I looked so embarrassing.
He probably
smoking
went
this
home
joint.
and questioned his own artistic eye. He probably went home and goes, "How could I be fooled by that man so easily? I thought his aura was cool. What do I even know about the world?"
He didn't even get a pick.
And meanwhile, this is you, just coughing.
I couldn't breathe for 2 whole minutes. I
Damn.
scared the guy away. My friends are hysterically laughing.
Yeah, because you looked like a fool.
I looked so bad. And you just made fun of me how I can't smoke, and I'm like, he's right. I don't know how to smoke.
In that world.
No, it's fine.
I tried to teach you.
I looked cool. I'm trying to look cool in the photo. I didn't look cool. I'm just like, I wanted to get enough smoke in that I could blow it out and do a whole thing, and I just fucking self-destruct.
You got to practice in the mirror, man.
You think in the mirror?
But here's the thing. I practiced smoking in the mirror when I was 16.
Okay.
You can't be 30.
I've never smoked in front of a mirror. I don't know what I look like because I've never seen myself smoke, and I just know it's got to be bad.
Rob, I mean, when iPhoto came out, I was in college. You know, I was hitting a joint in front of iPhoto. My couple of first Facebook photos were like black and white pixelated, me with a fitted and smoke all billowed around me. What are we talking?
Yeah, you were cool.
I mean, in quotes.
Yeah.
To someone.
Yeah, to someone.
In my head, I was cool.
I guess that's my friends were hysterically laughing. I'm like, yeah, that was bad. That was really bad.
Rob.
It was, and I was like, maybe wanted one of the pictures or like before whatever. I like took the drag. I was hoping that maybe he took a picture. He literally was like, I'm good. I'm gonna walk away, and he just like left.
Wow.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really embarrassing.
That's really bad, Rob.
Yeah, I looked like a elementary school kid who just had smoke for the first time, like in their vicinity, like a stop. What is it? Stop, drop, and roll drill. That's what I looked like.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, it was bad.
Well, Robbie,
What?
I mean, at this point, you should quit.
I know. I could have quit soon. I think.
I don't know.
It was quit worthy bad.
I don't know what to say, man.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. It doesn't look. My
Take
uncle
gummies.
one time made fun of me. He's like, "You don't look right doing that. What are you doing?"
Take gummies.
Yeah.
Take some edibles.
Yeah. It's coming. It's coming soon.
Please, Rob.
It's coming soon.
Please.
It's coming soon.
We can't have you out here in the world looking like that.
I know. Because I appeared cool, I guess, until I like did the thing.
Well, you appeared cool till you got involved.
Yeah, exactly.
Your accessories were cool.
Yeah. I picked out all the right things.
You did a good job of curating from interests of other people and placing it on the body of a Boy Scout.
100%.
It was like, even though he's presenting as cool, there's a Boy Scout underneath that. Undercover Boy Scout here for duty.
Which is what happened.
Yeah, you should see Robbie when he puts out his joint, how much he steps on it. He steps on it, he spits on it, he asks for a glass of water, he pours it out. He picks it up and places it in a garbage can. He'll be like, I'll be back in an hour to check.
Yeah.
Well, that's unfortunate, but
it is what it is.
We should tell people we're both in the process. I started. Rob hasn't.
I'm not yet in the process.
But we are reading the second Sarah J. Maas book.
Yes.
Speaking of arts, Now, is Sarah J. Maas an artist?
Well, if she is, then I am.
Right?
Yeah.
If Sarah J. Maas is an artist, you're an artist.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're reading. What's the book called?
A Court of Mist and Fury. By popular demand. People said that the second book was better.
Well, we're gonna read it, and we're gonna do some episodes on that. So if you
Yes.
want to read the book now, it's a
we're
great time
reading
to
by
get
Memorial Day. It's got to be finished by Memorial Day.
it. Wow, you're putting it out there.
Yeah.
I was worried to say that because I was worried that you weren't gonna do it in time.
No, we're doing it.
You're doing it.
Yeah, Memorial Day.
I love that. So
Even if I read it, I won't do this. But even if I have to read it the whole weekend,
I don't want you to ruin your weekend.
I wouldn't be ruining it. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's good.
Well, I meant
I heard it's great.
It is. But I don't want you to just be inside reading this book. I want you to start doing it now.
Okay, I'll start.
I want you to start doing it now.
Yeah.
I never feel more like Rob's teacher until it's time for us to read a book. And I like he rolls through this morning. I check in. I go. I read about 100 pages this weekend. How you doing?
It's still on my desk.
And he goes.
It's never left his apartment. My copy of the book is never left your apartment. So I don't know what.
I was having false hope, I guess, that you snuck in at night. So, and that had me thinking about books.
Okay.
When I was younger, I used to consider if a person read, I considered them smart. That is completely off the table. If you read, I do not consider you a smart person anymore. That is just something about you. When I found out the type of books that are hitting the shelves.
Yeah.
When I seen the type of books, when I went to Barnes & Nobles and perused the books that were hitting the shelves, I go, oh, any old dummy could read. You might be learning more from television.
100%.
I would say it's harder to watch an Apple TV show, more intellectually stimulating than to read some of these books.
It depends on the show. I think
Of course.
it's all with all these mediums, there's just the whole range. So it's like, oh, TV, yeah, there's reality TV. There's the equivalent of reality TV in books.
Well, this is what I'm learning.
Yes.
So, and I used to just think anyone that read, they must be so articulate. They must be intelligent. They must have so many facts and stories and know about history.
No.
Know about behind the scenes of politics. No. You know what they know about?
This has been years of this, of like absolute garbage dominating the book charts.
Well, that's what I'm learning.
Yeah.
I should have known. I was fooled by the Da Vinci Code.
Yeah.
But I should have known when each chapter was 4 pages long that this book's for dum-dums. When I opened the Da Vinci Code, when I read up to chapter 12 and we were on page 27, I should have said, this book is for dum-dums that need to go, look at me read it. Look at me read it.
I never read the Da Vinci Code.
Robbie,
short chapters.
I swear to God, Instagram captions are longer than a chapter in the Da Vinci Code.
What was the book that was so popular? It's like How to Be an Asshole. Assholes Live Forever or something like that. That was like one of the biggest self-help books from like 5 or 6 years ago. Assholes Live Forever.
I don't know
Maybe
if it
even
was
longer ago.
How to Be a Badass was
How to
one
Be
of
a
it.
Badass. Assholes Live Forever. I remember.
I listened to one of them.
You did?
Yeah.
Bad.
No, I mean, it's anything. You got to morsel through the shit to find the gold, you know?
Yeah. Even you just go to Barnes & Noble and you go to the front, it's like very indicative of how crazy the world is.
Well, I also
what's like popular.
What is popular? Well, it took all the wind out of my sails of readers are smarts, because I think back in the day, a bookworm.
Okay.
What does a bookworm mean to you, Rob?
Bookworm, nerdy. Yeah, you would think smart.
Smarts, right? For
On
me,
some level, I guess. I also.
Can I
This
tell?
is it. This is what the thing I'm trying to. This was 2019 November, and this is the front thing of Barnes & Noble. Front kiosk.
Yeah.
We have fuck feelings. Everything is fucked. The subtle art of not giving a fuck. How to stop feeling like shit. Calm the fuck down. This was it, I guess.
Well, this was
of the one little like segment of books in 2019. This was when I realized I'm like reading is
done.
just like, oh, I read. What do you? What we gotta go show your work. This is a thing that I'm more feeling these days. Is just like you show. I gotta see your work with everything. You have this opinion. You have this statement. Show me your work.
That was the ultimate age of self-help, but we're bad.
Yeah.
This ain't your mommy and daddy's therapy.
Yeah, exactly.
This ain't therapy from your mommy and daddy. Sigmund Freud up my ass. Right? This was like, oh, we're relatable.
Yeah.
We're getting therapy, but we do margaritas on the weekends.
Yeah.
That's what they were trying to do, Rob.
Yeah.
Which, I remember when that was popular.
Yeah.
I was struggling at that time. And I did one of those.
You did.
Yeah, but I mean, why not?
I guess. I don't know.
Here's the thing.
I guess I always viewed it as like, that can't be the answer.
You know what? I mean, it's the same thing as clickbait.
Yeah.
The titles are clickbaity.
Yeah.
I would say that is probably more beneficial reading than some of the stuff that's going on.
The fiction.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting. I could see that.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's just for me, as I said, like a bookworm for you was someone that was smart.
Yeah.
A bookworm for me now is one of three things.
Okay.
Someone that's smart and likes reading. A perv for the supernatural.
Okay.
Or a complete phony that's trying to pretend that they're cool.
Okay.
Those, if you have a book, that's what I think.
Per for the supernatural. Let's zone in on that.
Perv for the supernatural.
You think that's become... Interesting.
And here's the thing.
Because the other two, I know the type of the guys who are like trying to look cool.
Having a
because they
book.
read. Yeah.
Yeah, give me...
But even these types of books, it's like if you're reading just subtle... How many times do you need to read about how you could become a better person by being an asshole before, like, it's not working? How many different versions of that do you need before it's like, all right, maybe you try a new strategy?
I guess how many they make.
Yeah.
It probably went down every time. The selling count. I imagine one... Here's the thing, Robbie. You have to remember, on the other end of this author was marketing and publishers, and one book sold well.
Yeah.
The first one that they wrote sold well. And they said, blah, blah, come in here. We got a 6-book deal where you have to use the F word in every title.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
That's what it is, in my opinion.
There's only so many ways to slice that cake.
Yes, even more than people absorbing it, I think there was one of those books that was an absolute hit. I forget which one, but that was the one I read because everyone was reading it.
Yes.
And
Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Yes.
Probably. Yeah.
And then they were like, that went well. Let's do a whole series.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see
Sometimes you got to call it.
Yeah. But now, this pervy... You think they're horny for, like, not the traditional man that you're seeing in society? And they want this beastie stuff? Or... where do you think it's coming from?
Well, I think it's coming from... I think it's... Why is the horny smut so popular?
Yes.
That's a great question. One, I think books do better job with foreplay than a movie can.
Okay.
A movie is 2 hours long max.
Okay. And a book, you can have 2 hours of foreplay.
It might be 24 hours for you to read a book.
Yeah.
Think about the first one, Agatar.
Yes.
Well, I read for 12 hours before they even touch hands?
Yeah. Okay.
That's also, I think, part of it.
Yes.
The part of it is the lead up. What's going to happen next?
Yes.
So I think that is part of it. Also, they're just making people up. Straight men use porn, which is not it's like real people.
Okay.
They are like, let's not use real people. Let's just completely, if we're going to make it a fantasy, right? Men can't devolve from that normal fantasy of life.
Yeah.
We need our imagination to get a little wilder.
Yes.
People are like, you know what? We're playing in fantasy worlds. Let's go all the way in.
Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, we didn't really read smut.
No. And I hear there's good smuts. We'll read it. I think
we're going to read this.
Yeah.
Which is more smutty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the thing I learned is just like the author just makes stuff up as she goes along.
That's, I think, specific to her.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think other smut just makes stuff up as they go along.
Yeah.
I imagine there's smut with integrity.
I would hope so.
I would imagine.
It's just not the smut that is leading the charge.
No, but it's always the undergrounds that are the good, Rob.
Yeah, that's true.
The underground, as you said, at
under
the top
1,000
of the
views. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but we're reading. So if you want to get that book, order it. Go to your bookstore. Go to your local bookstore. Cop a book. They must have it in the library.
Yeah.
if you want to go to the library and do that, right? Going to the library before the summertime was one of the best activities as a child.
Oh yeah, that was very fun.
It was like we would have leaving school. People are leaving school now. We would get the summer reading list.
Yes.
And I remember one of the first days after we got out of school, my mom would take us to the library, and we get to pick out books from the summer reading list and then books that we wanted to read.
Yes. We were a big library family too.
Yeah.
In the summer, I was in the library a lot.
Well, it was also one of the places that had air conditioning.
Yes.
And not every store or restaurant had air conditioning back then.
Yeah.
So you got to go to a place because it had a computer in it.
Yes.
It was required to have air conditioning.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, computers used to overheat. So they used, like, remember the computer lab in school?
Yeah, cold.
It used to be cold.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Right? This is the only reason why I ever got into computers in the 90s was because the air conditioning was in the room.
Yeah, yeah.
I had no interest in computers, but I signed up for every computer lab I could in the summer just so I wouldn't sweat.
Okay.
It was the place. It was a safe place.
Yeah.
The only way I relate to a computer, the only way I am like, I get you, computer, is that we need the AC bumping for us to operate.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the only way.
Yeah.
So we would go to the library and we pick out all these books, and we would get to pick like a fun book too.
Of course.
And then it was so fun to read, and then my parents were teachers, so of course we'd have to share the books, what we were learning and stuff like
That's
that.
good.
At the kitchen table.
I would like quiz my siblings. I would make them compete in quizzes and what they learned, which is crazy, but they're smart kids.
You can't. I'll tell you this: if either one of Robbie's siblings are listening, he takes so much.
No, I don't take that.
You hold on, Rob. How many times you've told me that you taught him the multiplication tables?
I taught my brother multiplication before he was, but I don't know what that means in the grand scheme of things. Before he was in kindergarten, he knew through 12.
You weren't just taking credit right now when you said I gave them quizzes, and then you said, and they're smart people.
I mean, it was.
Do you want credit?
I'm trying to be like, it wasn't all insanity from me, but no, I'm not gonna.
You
take
had
full
foresights.
credit.
You had foresights.
Yeah, I'm not gonna take credit. No,
I think you can.
I won't.
I think you should.
No, I won't. That's not fair.
Do they pay you percentage of the?
No.
Like a manager?
We would do like placemats.
You were a momager growing up.
No, we were.
You were the ultimate stage mom for education for your
Maybe.
brother and sister.
In some ways, I cared about it.
You were the Abby Lee of the library.
Cared about it.
Let's just cut to the chase. You were the Abby Lee Miller of the library.
I wouldn't know if I would go that far. Maybe my mother.
You would give them a ranking. Who was number one and who was number two?
I mean, who we would just maybe sometimes they would read books, and then we would do like Battle of the Books was a big thing. Did you have Battle of the Books?
No.
I was obsessed with Battle of the Books. It
What
was
is
like a
this?
thing where you would have to read. You would get on a team. Like everybody in the 3rd and 4th grade would get a team of other 3rd and 4th graders, and there would be like 6 books that chapter books that everyone would have to read. It would be like a reading list, and then there would be questions about it, and you would have to answer the question correctly. It was like basically trivia meets like a game show, but it would be hosted on the stage of the school, the best Battle of the Books teams, and then everyone would have to watch, and then there'd be one winner. So I was like obsessed with that.
Damn. Can I tell you this?
What?
That's a tough watch if you're in the audience.
Not if you're like a fan as a kid.
You weren't even in
like
it?
a kindergartner. Well, you watch it being able to participate. So you like want to participate. I was bad at sports as a child. I was good at school. So I'm like, this is my time to shine.
Battle of the Books.
So I really connected with Battle of the Books. So then I liked it a lot. I would probably like sim it on my siblings.
And you would rank. You go, oh, you won Battle of the Books.
Yeah.
So you
there would
go,
always be a winner.
This week on the pyramid, we have.
I mean, I maybe
Mackenzie.
did it 3 times. I maybe did it 3 times with my siblings.
Do you feel if in your family?
What?
If you were in the cast of Dance Moms?
Okay.
Would you be Abby Lee Miller?
Probably.
That's amazing.
Over my mother, it would be me or my mother.
Can I tell you what?
What?
I know everyone at home is going, Sebastian, you are so Abby Lee Miller.
No.
Not for a second.
Not as much as me.
Even in my family.
No, not even close.
Not even close. My
You
mother.
might be last.
I would be last.
In
My
the
mother.
Abby Lee Miller rankings.
The Abby
Every
Lee-
family needs to rank their family members by most likely to be Abby Lee Miller to last likely.
That's gonna be a new icebreaker for me. For when I meet someone new, I'll be like,
Yeah.
"How much do you relate to Abby Lee Miller on a scale of 1 to 10? How Abby Lee Miller are you?"
Yeah.
And if I ask them that question and they are they're in a scooter and just back out of the room because they are offended, I go, "Now that's a 10, babe. Now that's a 10." If I ask you that question and you get into a scooter and you just back out and go to the police department because I verbally assaulted you, you are a 10. You are a 10 at Abby Lee Miller.
You actually, all right, so there's some good qualities of Abby Lee Miller that I think that you probably do have. So maybe you're not the last.
No, I'm a part Abby Lee.
Yeah. I think just big reactions is fun. Like,
Abby Lee emotionally falls down a flight of steps every episode.
she allows herself to feel.
Which is
in the moment,
so gorgeous.
She reacts, yeah.
And she's also
she has bad things about her, I'm sure.
She's one of the fakest people I've ever seen on television. Okay. She makes when I watch Abby Lee Miller, sometimes I go, "Wow, these Real Housewives are Daniel Day-Lewis."
What do you mean?
How good their acting is.
Okay.
Abby Lee, you really feel it's a reality TV show. It's like scripted. There's like parts that she has to say. For Real Housewives, sometimes
it's a little bit more natural
compared to Abby Lee.
So you think Dance Moms is scripted?
Well, not the competitions, but
they go, Abby, you got to react here this way.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Until she learned how to do it.
Okay. So you see the process of becoming a reality TV star.
Abby Lee Miller did a video where she was reacting to JoJo Siwa's first music video, "Karma's a Bitch."
Okay.
And she pretended that it was the first time that she was reacting to it. And Robbie, I've never seen worse acting. I would love to know who Abby... I want to know... You know what my dream job is? To be Abby Lee Miller's acting teacher.
Okay. You want to be Abby Lee Miller's Abby Lee Miller.
I want to be... Who is... behind every great Abby Lee Miller is an Abby Lee Miller.
Okay.
That's all I have to say. I want that on a mug.
You take her to another level.
Rob, behind
I agree.
every great Abby Lee Miller is another Abby Lee Miller.
I think you could take a lot of people to another level. And you are a performer.
If we all just Abby Lee'd each other and saw the best and was ruthless with our comments to each other, so much so that we didn't care about age, we didn't care about tears, we didn't care about deaths in the family. We only thought about finished products.
Okay.
The state of art in this country would be different.
It would be better.
I think Abby Lee Miller should be running media.
Okay.
Get rid of Ted Sarando. We need Abby Lee Miller running
on top of Netflix.
We need Abby Lee Miller. If Abby Lee Miller was running Netflix, season 2 of Squid Games would have been better.
Okay. Well, she needs to have no financial like it needs to be like a job where you make XYZ amount of money no matter what.
Yes.
You can't be swayed in any direction. You need to just have the integrity of whatever you find good and bad.
Can I tell you what would have happened in this last season of White Lotus?
What?
Abby Lee would have pulled it mid-season and says, "No, we're not releasing it. It's too bad."
Oh, really?
Abby Lee would pull TV shows mid-season because she didn't like it.
Well, they did that with The Idol.
And I think that's great.
Yeah,
I
agree.
The first Abby Lee thing that ever happened.
Yeah.
I want
mid-season, pack it up.
Mid-season going, never mind. Oh God. Here's the problem they sell us when we're child trained. We are taught by someone like Abby Lee Miller, and that's not who runs the industry.
Okay.
We're
taught by I see.
We need Abby Lee Millers running the industry.
Yes. That
are ruthless, play favorites, unabashedly. And when they get questioned about it, they go, "Well, do you blame me?"
Do you think she has a good eye?
Yes.
You do actually think she has a good eye for talent?
Abby Lee is extreme.
So you think she actually...
Abby Lee has a very good eye for talent.
Okay. I don't know.
I think so.
I did used to watch the show with a professional dancer.
Okay.
And we liked the show. I don't really remember... I guess the kids were good.
Well, do you know about the one girl, Maddie?
Okay.
Who went on to be in music videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
JoJo Siwa is one of the most famous people in America.
This is just a dance studio in the middle of Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Just a Pittsburgh dance studio. And why are they all coming out of that? One reason, 4 wheels, Abby Lee Miller.
One reason, 4 wheels.
Here's the thing, I only joke about it because Abby Lee Miller is in a scooter by choice.
Okay.
For the dramatiques.
Yes.
It all.
Yeah.
So.
That's fun.
Yeah, so I just think we should all thrive for a boss like Abby Lee Miller.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the whole story I haven't kept up with her, but apparently she's wild.
Oh,
and has
Rob.
bad things like.
She's been to jail.
Yeah.
Been to jail.
Yeah.
I just got a notification. My heart rate went up.
Okay.
Here's the thing.
Wait, would you want to play Abby Lee Miller? Would you want to direct her story? Would you want to just
Robbie?
Advise her? Like, what's your dream scenario if there were to be art around Abby Lee Miller?
Excellent question.
Okay.
My dream scenario is to be in a biopic of Abby Lee Miller as a young person that has to start transitioning into teaching and realizes that her cruelty is what makes people thrive.
Okay, you're trying to teach.
I am Abby Lee.
You're Abby Lee.
I'm 35-year-old Abby Lee. I go to the studio. I'm starting to teach them how to dance, and everyone's nice.
Connecting to the niceness.
Everyone's nice in Pittsburgh, and all of a sudden, here comes this brassy broad called Abby Lee Miller.
Okay.
And at first, I went by Abby Lee, and I go, "Add the Miller, motherfucker."
And that's the moment.
And you go
where
home.
the story turns.
Oh God, the villain turn. Like, people want to see villain origin stories.
Yeah.
Give me the Abby Lee villain origin story.
Yeah.
An Abby Lee Miller villain origin story would put people on their ass.
Okay, you're not wrong.
It would rock just to see this woman go from being kind to children to screaming at them till they cry, and then walking out and eating a coffee cake donuts.
Yeah. There is a dark side to it. I think a lot of these dance teachers too, not good with eating disorders, self-image, a lot of bad stuff that comes out of.
She didn't. Yeah, there's.
I don't know where
some stuff for that.
I don't know where she was with
takes
that.
a little the fun out of it.
No, I'm just saying.
Takes a little.
The ones in my town were like bad. Like, I don't know. I know people that were affected by it, so I don't know where she stands on all.
Well,
of
I'll
that.
address that in the movie.
Okay.
Because here's the thing,
her stars.
Abby Lee has her own eating disorder. If we're just gonna be frank and
blunt
about it,
yeah.
Abby Lee, I'm sure, has her own issues around it.
She's had a journey of her life,
and in my mind, Abby Lee has had more husbands.
Okay,
more has been. No, this is made up right now. In my mind, not facts.
Okay.
Remember what I said. I'm not in government. I'm not science.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
loose
loose.
with
This
facts.
is artiste.
This is artiste. I take artistic integrity license. I have artistic license when it comes to telling people's biography.
Yeah, of course. And she would agree.
Abby Lee Miller has been married more times than Henry VIII.
Okay. I love that.
In my mind, Abby Lee Miller.
With a similar sentiment, like, you can't get me what I want.
Yes.
I don't know what it is. Henry VIII wanted a man, a son, but I don't know what it is that Abby Lee Miller wants. But she's not getting it from these men.
You know what she wanted?
What, an orgasm?
An Abby. Imagine doing a bad job giving Abby Lee Miller head. Now that's a nightmare situation. Now that's going right into the movie.
Yes.
Young Abby Lee Miller, 30-something-year-old Abby Lee Miller getting head, and you're doing a bad job, and she's critiquing. Enough. Okay. Stop. Jesus Christ. I could come faster from a breeze. I might as well. Okay, just give me 2 quarters. I'll go sit on a dryer. Jesus, Frank. And
of course, Frank.
Yeah, of course. And at the bottom of the orgasm pyramid, at the bottom of the orgasm pyramid, we have Frank. 0 fingers, 2 minutes, tongue only on the clitoris.
Okay, not the worst.
Slamming.
Okay, slamming the tongue.
And of course, at the top of the pyramid, we have the rose.
The rose, always.
Of course.
Can't beat the rose.
Hey, man. Hey, I learned, as I said this many times on the podcast, I learned a lesson from Henry Hill.
Of course.
Machine's always going to win.
Yes.
If I'm battling the rose for the orgasm, I don't want to have a heart attack. American Tall Tales. Yeah. But Abby Lee, oh God, to give Abby Lee Miller bad oral must be, I mean, you leave a better man.
I hope so. Damn right.
You leave. Honestly, we should all be so blessed to have to go down on Abby Lee Miller.
I agree.
Because
We should all be so blessed.
people will be eating pussy like it's their job.
Yeah. They would be better at it. They would be, you know what? She puts some shame into these men's hearts. And they need that.
It would be.
There's a lot of better. I think like young women were maybe not the best victims for Abby Lee Miller, but there's a lot of people that could benefit by having someone like Abby Lee Miller at their job.
This is why Abby Lee Miller needs to be Abby Lee Miller around
elsewhere.
the world.
Not just with young women. Target, it's like
children.
Tough.
It's not even
children.
young women.
It's children. You're right. Exactly.
They're not
mainly children.
They're 8s. They're
Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
They're babies.
Yes.
And she's a star.
We don't need that. She needs to be going to other places. She needs to branch out from just Dance Moms. She needs.
And I want on a mug behind every great Abby Lee Miller is an Abby Lee Miller.
I love that. I think that's great.
What are we talking?
I
Tell
agree.
me a better quote.
Yeah, I agree.
Behind every great Abby Lee Miller is an Abby Lee Miller.
I agree. I think
And you just have like a line of scooters around the mug.
Talk about subtle art about giving a fuck. I think Abby Lee Miller could help a lot of these young men a lot more than Mark Manson.
She might have written the book.
Yeah.
I'm worried what media did Abby Lee Miller ghostwrite in this world, right?
I don't know.
She is my muse.
Okay. She's one of them.
You're right. I've been trying to think of TV show ideas and movie ideas that makes sense that I don't have drive and passion for.
Okay.
If I'm playing Abby Lee Miller in a biopic, I am doing the Timmy Chalamet work on the side.
Yes.
I would get on stage. I go, I've spent 14 years preparing for this role.
I love
14
that.
years.
Yeah. I mean,
I would move to Pittsburgh for the role.
You would move for 6 months?
I would taxi. I would be Robert De Niro.
Okay.
I would secretly open a dance studio. Like how he came back to drive a taxi around New York City to be a taxi driver. I would go in disguise, secretly open a dance studio in Pittsburgh for children, and start screaming at them. And then go home weeping, and go, Robbie, it's too hard. I'm too mean to the kid, and you slap me, and you go, pull that shit together. If you want Abby Lee, I don't need to Abby Lee you.
I'd have to be your Abby Lee.
You'd have to
I'd have to do that.
The only way I could really win the Oscar playing Abby Lee Miller is if I found my own Abby Lee to get behind me.
You're right. You're not strong enough to do it alone. I mean, she would be. Unless she's dead in this world.
Robbie, she would sue me for everything I own.
Maybe you could find a way to work together.
Robbie, if I don't take her down to the ground and burn her empire, I did the movie wrong.
Okay.
If I do the Abby Lee Miller picture and she's not suing me by the end,
You're right.
I did nothing.
You're right.
She went to the police department because someone asked her to turn her phone off. Okay. What are we talking here, Robbie?
Yeah, you're right.
Unless
it would be contentious.
Oh, Robbie.
She wouldn't be allowed on set.
She wouldn't even be allowed to know that the movie's about her.
Yeah.
I'm worried about putting this out.
Yeah. Cease and desist.
That's all we know. Papers are going to show up. Everything is fictional that I just said.
Yes, of course.
I'm only making jokes.
Yeah.
But she's my muse.
She's one of the muses, for sure.
I mean, yeah, at the core, she's... Oh, God. I would put everything behind it. I would train so hard.
I know you would. You would do a good job.
I would learn how to dance. I would dress up as a child and learn how to dance and have recordings of her screaming
at you so you could feel it.
So I could feel what the other side is.
Yeah.
I would put on my tutu and I would do a drunk driving interpretive dance that Maddie did on the show, so I know what it feels like to be on the receiving end of my goddess.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
Yes, I need to know the
You need
impact.
to understand 360.
Here's the thing, Rob. There's that Joker. Everyone's like, the Joker. There's a curse around the Joker.
Yeah.
You have no idea how bad I'm going to be after I'm done with the Abby Lee Miller
I can only
project.
imagine.
I am going to... my life will...
You'll dedicate everything to it.
It will crumble.
You'll give it to your soul.
They will call that day 9/11/2. My family.
9/11/2.
9/11/2.
Okay. The sequel. I mean, I could see it.
TOO.
I think, okay, 2. Okay. I thought TWO.
No, TOO.
9112.
No, 9112.
Okay.
Still remember. Yeah. So, well, libraries are fun.
Yeah. Fun summer treat. Little
you know,
Pizza Hut.
Anyways, yeah, libraries was a big part of the summer for me, and I'm
Yeah.
trying to think about, like, as I said, get excited for the summer.
Yeah.
And so, how do I was thinking, I'm trying to reverse engineer excitement right here in my life right now. And how do I get excited for Christmas? Watching Christmas movies.
Oh, I see.
Right? Listening to Christmas songs,
Yeah.
watching Christmas movies.
It's almost weird. This part of the year is not summer yet, but you have to get a lot of summer activities in because summer is too hot in the city.
Yes, it is.
So
That
it's
is a
like
good
you really
point.
got to start thinking about summer right now.
Yeah.
Get your plans in order. Get certain things in a row. There's certain things you could really only do now.
In June.
Yeah.
too, yeah.
June, May, exactly.
In spring, we do like those summer activities.
Sometimes you have to do that. Also, people's weekends get booked up so fast in the summer.
I know.
People are like, "Oh, my first free weekend's already July." I'm like, "Damn, it's
feeling that too, man.
which is tough because there's things you want to do in the summer. We live here all year round for like the warm weather in the summer.
Yeah, for strolling, but that's why we need to take advantage of the week sometimes,
Yes,
Rob.
you do have to take summer nights during the week is a big part. That is summer, I think.
Yes, well,
Weekday nights is summer.
the sun's not going down till after 8,
Yeah.
so we have more time.
Yes.
And so I was thinking about, like, what's the most summer movie out there?
Ever.
What's the most what's the best movie to encapsulate what summer is in your heart?
Yeah. I don't know.
Right? Well, what would you say for you?
I don't know. You've said a movie that was good. Now I
You
can't
just
get
know
it
my
out of my
answer.
head. I
You
can't
just
get it out of my head.
What
I
I
can't
feel.
get your answer out of my head.
Well, I'll tell you what. So I think there's a lot of options, right?
Okay.
There's stuff like Dazed and Confused,
Never
where it's
seen.
like the last day of school, and it's about like high schoolers partying too much, right?
Okay.
There's stuff like I Know What You Did Last Summer. There's stuff like, I guess a great summer movie would be Grease.
Okay.
Is a great summer movie.
Yes.
For me,
that is a great summer movie.
500 Days
But
of
also,
Summer.
500 Days of Summer is not really a summer movie.
Never saw it.
It's not about the woman's name is Summer.
Well, what?
And Grease is
I have a
about
bone to
wait,
pick.
Grease is also not about summer. It's about the school year. Famously, you don't see what happens in the summer.
Well, you tell me more.
Tell me, of course, one of the best summer songs of all time, but it happens at homecoming during the school year. Grease is the best back to school movie, I would say,
I guess there's no.
or school movie in general.
I guess what is a great summer movie? I don't know. Grown Ups 4 when they go to the water park.
You have a good one.
No, I'm
That
broken
really
down.
I resonate with. I've been really resonating with even more recently. So
Well,
let's say that.
I'll say the most summer movie for me is The Sandlot.
Of course.
The movie that encapsulates like the joy and pure fun and lightness and adventure and finding yourself is the movie The Sandlot. And I think trying to aim for having like a Sandlot summer is such a beautiful place to be.
That's what I want. I'm a lifeguard. Is there a more iconic scene in all of cinema with respect to lifeguards than the squint scene?
Incredible.
Is there a more iconic scene with respect to lifeguards than the squints CPR scene?
I mean, it's truly incredible.
Yeah.
And I love that he got smacked.
Yeah.
Good.
But yeah, good.
But also,
But also, I did think about it as a kid.
you thought about doing that?
I never would. I was a very scared child, but like I resonated with squints.
Yeah, I guess
couldn't
when I
see.
see photos of you, you kind of look
I
like
looked
him.
like him. Yeah, I did look
You
like
did look
him.
a little like Squints.
Yeah, I looked like him. I had, of course, I'm like a person who has a lot of crushes.
A little awkward.
For sure. I think he's probably the character I identified with the most, and then I became a lifeguard.
Wow. Yeah, you kind of got that vibe.
Yeah.
Well, as a kid.
A little bit. I didn't have as thick framed glasses, but like everything else.
But like his innocence.
Yeah.
And so I think what's so fun about that is summer, for one, The Sandlot shows us with the chewing tobacco scene, it's a time to try things.
Oh, yes.
It's a time to
yeah,
try
yeah.
something new.
And you get to hang out with your friends. I also will say this. I wear the LA hat.
Well, okay.
Not as much anymore. But Benny the Jet is who I really looked up to. Like, the guy who plays Benny I thought was the coolest person in cinema.
Yeah.
Maybe until I became like an adult.
Well,
Like
he goes on to become a pro baseball player.
I mean, he was the coolest. He
was the coolest person
the
in the neighborhood.
epitome of just like who you want to be as a kid, I would say, for me. And I wear the LA hat because of him.
Wow.
That's an ode to Benny the Jet.
And why'd you get the foot tattoo?
Who has a foot tattoo in the movie?
Woody.
Oh, really? Oh, Woody. Andy. Yeah. That's also.
So, no, but I think that's a great example of being with your friends and trying something.
Yes.
It's not good to peer pressure your friends but like
I didn't do that. Yeah.
The summer is a time to like try things and be with your friends and be like, whoa, this is crazy.
It's the creativity of just a bunch of people hanging out every day. I think
that's a great way to summarize it, Rob.
You have to like
the creativity of a bunch of people hanging out every day with not much to do.
No, not much.
That's what's
constraints create creativity. We talk about this all the time.
Well, that's what's. I hate to sound like a fucking boomer, but
Yeah.
like no phones makes you creative.
Definitely.
Put the phone down.
I know.
And I think if you want a Sandlot summer, you got to be putting the phone down.
Yeah, I agree. I've been craving this more. I'm calling my friends I grew up with that we used to hang out every day, and I'm like, I wish we could go outside and play. I wish we didn't live so far away from each other.
And this is call your friend. I'm gonna be your friend. You call me. I'm your friend. You want to go outside and play?
Yo, what's up?
Hey, what's up, bro?
I'm just walking around the neighborhood smoking. I'm watching these kids play soccer right now. I'm just like, damn. I wish we could go fucking play soccer.
One second. Yeah, sweet. I'll be up there to help you with the kids in a second, okay, babe? Don't worry. No, I'm just wrapping up work downstairs. What were you saying, Rob?
I just wish.
What were you saying?
It would be so nice if we could have a play date like we used to every day.
Well, yeah, my mom's pretty sick now, so it's good that home. All right.
Anyways, you want to play
Robbie,
soccer next week?
Do you need money?
No, I
okay?
really am. I am yearning for. I did that every single day of my summer and most of my life. I would just meet my friends outside.
Well, I think,
and we would just do random shit. Make up a game. I made up so many games.
Sure.
You make up so many things. You have to like kind of create your own fun in a small area.
It was, and I think that Sandlot it really encapsulates that energy.
100%
of like roaming around, nothing to do.
You gotta ask the neighbor for the ball, or you kick it so far, you go somewhere else, you go to a strange house to get the ball back.
Nothing to do.
Yeah.
Nothing. I need some free time with nothing on the schedule.
That's why they all have great creative nicknames. They all have like a fun cadence. You need to like kind of make, I don't know, you need to create that community. And you all have each other's back, but you all know each other's like flaws, for lack of a better word. It's a nice, I don't know. That's the energy that I grew up in, and I don't see it as much. And I go to the park now. I'm like, I go on these walks.
I hope it's happening.
You want to see that a little bit, and that's what I'm like. Oh, want to feel connected to that energy.
And look at you. Now you're on a microphone like the other kid.
Oh yeah, the main Smalls.
Now you're like Smalls on the microphone.
Yeah, of course. Love Smalls too.
It's a great movie.
I love all the characters. They're all yeah. I mean, it was just such a fun gimmick that everybody. You need to do that in a friend group, I think too. Which my friend group was really good at doing that, and we had hang out 15, 20 people when I was in high school that would all kind of congregate different places, whatever. We're gonna meet at this person's house, this person's house. We're gonna go to the shore tonight. We're gonna go to the parks, the tennis courts here. Like that was kind of the energy I grew up in. And you got to give every specific person has their, like, they get their moment to shine. And I think that is important. And you, like, everybody gets a nickname. Everybody feels like they're part of the group and is equally as important as every other person. And I think that is important to, like, those group dynamics.
It is. I would say that probably from inside the group, they all don't feel as part of the group.
Maybe. But you at least have to give everybody a nickname.
But they're all there.
You got to be like,
here's the thing.
This is like every person, they have like a call and response for two less, like of the not
they were
as
all
main characters.
invited.
Yeah, everybody's always invited.
That's what it is.
And
everyone knew who they were in the
yes.
group, where their status and where they lied and what they were in the group, you know?
100%.
And so that's when the kid like ends up kissing the lifeguard. That's why everyone goes nuts for him, even
Absolutely.
though he's the biggest nerd.
Yeah. That's the energy that I do love. It's like so supportive.
Yes, it's supportive. Even if it is ball busting,
Yes.
which it is sometimes,
Yeah,
which is fine.
Which is fun. That's what also.
You gotta.
That's why I say like I was very comfortable getting made fun of because it was a safe. It was like Squints got made fun of, but I know he knows those people love him at the end of the day.
Well, also I don't think people realize there's an art to ball busting, and I think
100%.
we're losing it with internet comments.
Yeah, you're right.
Because people for internet comments just go for the throat, and I think for ball busting, you go for like a tickle.
100%.
You're going for something that you could just like tease them a little bit, but still have love for them.
Yeah. It's like you make a silly mistake, we call that out, we laugh about it.
It's usually about
let
actions.
yourself be vulnerable. Yeah, yeah.
Ball busting was more action based than visual based.
Yeah. And it's not like you're going to be friends at the end of it.
Yeah.
It's not two strangers saying the meanest thing that they can like find on the other person to try to hurt their feelings as significantly as possible because you feel jealous that they're getting ounces more clout than you.
Well, I think that ounces is like truly a speck of dust.
Yeah.
A speck.
100%.
Literally, we are a speck of dust, and that speck of dust got 10,000 views.
Yes.
You bop 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 bleep
Yeah.
bleep bleep bleep.
All right. There was like a care to it. Like it wasn't to hurt. You're always gonna be friends at the end of it.
Well, I'm worried that the art of ball busting is gonna disappear because people are used to when they want to tease someone, they go for the throat nowadays.
Yeah. And you don't realize, like, if they leave, then that's less fun. Yeah. It's fun that you have all these people that are like the people you can make fun of in the group.
That's exactly it, Rob.
I knew my role. That's like
you want to make fun of them enough that it's fun for everyone, but not hurtful
where
for
it's
them.
like super hurtful. And I've been bullied where I was like, this is really hurtful and mean and not fun. Like, it's just mean. Especially like the things that were like pain. Like people would think it's funny to cause pain on people. And I'm just like, I don't think that's fun.
No. But here's the thing. If they like you, they'll be like, my bad. And they'll stop.
Yeah. And if you're actually hurt.
Yes.
Yeah. My friends, this is how, if I say anything, that's how they would impersonate me.
Well,
I really like club soda. I really like club soda. That was the voice that they used for me. I don't think I sound like that.
No, but
that
I
was
can
just
feel the aura of that.
Yeah, of course. Sometimes
the energy and
it's
aura
just heightening
is that.
a certain 100%.
Yeah.
And it's fun. I think it's all fun. But I've really been yearning for like a Sandlot summer, I think. It's free.
Yeah.
Those boys don't spend barely any money.
So I do think that having that like intention for the summer is good and getting excited about it.
I agree.
I've also, as we know, someone, I forget who did it, but someone tagged me recently. People are starting to bump now this 2000 stripper music.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But someone's like,
I was listening to it, and then you said that was what you were listening to.
And I do think that actually that type of music is more Sandlot summer than we think.
Okay.
You put on Shake Your Laffy Taffy, you telling me you're not like a little boy? Okay. Shake that Laffy Taffy.
Yeah.
That Laffy Taffy girl. I cannot not smile to Shake That Laffy Taffy.
Interesting.
I want that bubble gum. What are we talking here? I'll say this. I was thinking about
I was never a Laffy Taffy fan.
Shake That Laffy Taffy might be one of the most body positive songs I've ever heard.
Okay.
Because what are we talking about?
What's the Laffy Taffy?
The part that you like.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Whatever moves on you, babe, that's what I'm about.
Yeah, that is true.
It was an incredible song.
So you're just walking around bumping Laffy Taffy?
Yesterday I listened to
living
Laffy
good.
Taffy about 5 times.
Nice.
I'm in Manhattan yesterday.
You gotta treat yourself.
I'm truly getting a sandwich, blasting Laffy Taffy. Just walking into Potbellies to get a chicken and cheddar sandwich, going, hey, can I have a chicken and cheddar sandwich? Meanwhile, in my right ear, I like that bubble gum. Now goes a yum, yeah. And me just going, hi.
Yeah.
Hi. Oh, yeah, I'll be in improv class in a minute.
Yep. That's nice. That's nice to hear that it's coming back. I mean, I've been listening to it.
And I think that is part of a silly music like that is fun.
Yes.
And I think that is part of that Sandlot innocence.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
I think it's nice in the summer, too. New Yorkers get the aux cable for the summer.
How so?
You walk around the streets in the summer, and you hear music blasting from cars.
Oh, yeah.
And I think most of the time that ends up being a native New Yorker.
Yeah.
I think transplants, a lot of them don't have cars, and if they do have cars, they are not the types to just be like, all the windows are going down, radio's going to 100. These people got to hear what I want to hear.
You know who does that in their car?
Who?
Me.
I know. My cousin does it. My cousin's friends do it.
You know who does? Me.
Yeah.
And I'll blast.
And I think that's good.
Somebody I used to know.
No, you can't do that.
What are you talking?
You can't.
Robbie,
you can't
I've
be
never
giving
gotten
them
more smiles.
wrong people. You need to be blasting 50 Cent, Many Men.
do.
You need to be blasting artists from New York. You need to be blasting like Bad Bunny a few summers ago. You couldn't escape Bad Bunny.
Interesting.
We need to be giving. You're just giving the transplants what they want. Somebody that I used to know.
That's what I want.
Since when do you want that? That's just now.
That's on my rotation.
Really?
I go from the ups and downs.
I think though you need to play music that is more educational to transplants.
I am, Rob.
You have a good. Yeah, you like. You got to play Wu-Tang.
I'm talking. Of course.
They need to hear Wu-Tang.
I'm listening to Ghostface on the way to the
That's
show.
what you need to do. All right, good.
You don't
drive
have to-
around Park Slope with some Wu-Tang on.
You don't
some
have
Ghostface.
I'm listening to Ghostface.
Some Lloyd Banks.
Robbie. You
Tony
have no
Ayo.
idea. I'll be stuck. I remember if I'll do it in the car with my sister. One time we were driving back. We drove through the Lincoln Tunnel, and my brother-in-law was in the car. I roll all the windows down. I go, "Welcome to New York City." Just
Nobody can hear in the Lincoln Tunnel.
Well, as soon as we got outside the Lincoln Tunnel, we're in dead stop traffic. People are walking around us in Times Square, and I'm just blasting Jadakiss.
Okay.
And my brother-in-law's just
That's
windows
what I
down.
love. And I think it will be a lot of Bad Bunny this summer, because the streets do generally love Bad Bunny.
And I'm blasting Akon.
All right, I like Akon.
Yeah. So no, but I agree with you. And you know what an ultimate move is?
What?
Parking. I've done this a ton. Park your car, turn the music on, and you stand outside the car.
Oh yeah, of
now
course.
you add a slice of pizza on top of that car, a couple of Tim's shorts.
Yep.
Forget about it. How we doing?
You can't roll your eyes now.
No.
Come up to me and say something.
Oh God, playing music in the car, pizza on the hood. My life is good.
100%. This is what's nice about the summer.
Is that you got to do that?
Yeah, the streets. You can kind of be the soundtrack to New York. New Yorkers can still be the soundtrack to New York. It's like a way to reclaim some space, I think.
It's nice. I think that is good. I like and the cars. What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
You just go. I'm getting a moment.
100%.
And then you get.
I love when
the
you
weed
when you
smell
drive
in the
past
air.
them. Exactly.
The weed smell. I drove from New Jersey back to New York, and I was with people. I was like, this is my favorite part. We rolled down the windows. We're looking at the skyline. Of course, I give my classic line. I go, the skyline's for us, not for fucking them.
Okay.
Just playing my character to these two fucking people in the car that couldn't give a shit. They know me for years.
Yeah.
And I go, you smell that? That's New York City weed. These people are just
I love that. You got to
people
do that.
Just did an improv show with me. They're like, Sebastian, you just played a dramatic ant.
Yeah.
Turn off this tough guy attitude. I go, this fucking New York City weed. That skyline, you see that? That's for fucking us. And meanwhile, a second ago, I was like, where's my purse? I go, I'm going to have some of that bread.
It is for
Listen,
fucking you, okay?
Back in my day, we used to fucking crush up a perk 30 and a $20 bill, never a 5. Take me to Outback. The duality of man.
100%.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, that is fun. It's going to be. I think that is nice to add our own soundtrack and love and life.
100%,
yeah.
Energy,
right?
Which is nice because they take a lot of stuff.
Well, I think that that's one of my favorite parts about having a car, especially in the summer, zipping around Brooklyn. One, I don't have to drink.
Yes.
Like, I don't talk about this a lot, but it's nice to go out and not have to drink and just be like, oh, I have the car.
Yeah.
I mean,
obviously, I would prefer that we just have a ton more good public transportation and all that, but it is what it is.
I'm just saying one of the perks for me.
Yeah, is not drinking.
I force myself not to drink that.
Yes.
Which I love.
Yeah. That is good.
Some scenarios.
Yeah.
Some scenarios I want to slam. I'm either 0 beers or 15 down the hatch.
Yeah, you don't want to waste the night.
Yeah, I want to wake up feeling good. I wake up
Either
feeling
you feel
tired
good or
over
bad.
nothing.
There's no, if you're gonna feel bad, you might as well feel bad.
Yeah.
And enjoy the night.
So,
I get that.
Yeah. So, but I like that's one, especially if I'm going someplace close in Brooklyn, and then to blast the music really adds that energy. I remember my friend my friend used to make summer mixtapes, the CDs.
Oh, of course, me too.
And he'd write on it, and
Yeah.
and every time I go pick him up, every 2 weeks he'd throw a new one. He goes,
Oh,
"This
that's
is for
amazing.
you."
I should do that with playlists. I like try to be on top of that more.
Do a summer
But,
playlist.
Yeah, every 2 weeks you have a new one. That's like
Not
I
even.
think
You
that
just
is
do
fun.
one for the summer.
Yeah, or you just keep it rolling. I've
Yeah.
done that before. I like the people that have boom boxes too, though. That just like it's the summer. I want to walk around with my boom
Sure,
box, my
sure.
little speaker, and you play music.
And I think it's
But
fun
you
to
gotta play
post
good
up in a
music.
spot.
Yeah.
And Rob, good music is subjective.
Yes.
I would say this, even if they're playing,
I don't want people to get the wrong idea that anybody can just go play music.
well, Rob, that's just the way it's gonna be.
Yeah.
We can't be. It's either all music or no music.
You're right. You're right.
We can't like if
You just
if,
gotta hope these other people don't feel empowered to be like, I'm gonna take up this space. They take up so much space already.
Robbie, if people are having, if people are one, they're not outside those type of people
Yeah,
like
you're right.
that. So what are we talking?
That just
here?
post up on like the white chair, the white plastic chair, like the ones on the cover of Bad Bunny's new album.
Yeah,
The chairs that
you don't gotta tell me.
yeah.
If I was in a movie, that would be my villain.
Okay. Really?
You kidding me?
All right. New character alert.
That would be
now
the-
casting for the Abby Lee Miller biopic.
That would be my villain.
Okay.
A white lawn chair.
Okay. They make you uneasy.
I wake up with ooh, I hear this plastic snapping in my dreams. I
Well,
once
that's the chair. I think like sitting outside with a bunch of people in the summer listening to music.
Robbie, I once sat in one, and I sat in it long enough till my butt was on the ground and the posts were all the way in the all the way in the grass.
It was an elevator.
I slowly went down.
Yeah.
So people throughout the night goes, "Wow, Seb, what's going on?" I go, "Going down." Those types of people aren't outside that much, Rob. Let's be honest, they're not.
You're right.
And two, if there's going to be a group of people and they're all outside, they're having a good time and they're laughing and they're
Listening to
inviting,
music, you're right.
and it's not your type of cup of tea, that music,
You're right.
but they're still bringing good vibes and energy
You're
to
right.
everyone, because
That's
playing
true.
music outside is bringing vibes and joy to everyone.
Yeah, you need to think about the people.
Yes.
Yes, I agree.
And so I do think that that's fine.
Okay.
Because then if they're here and they want to play music and invite us to celebrate the joys of good weather with them,
Yeah.
fuck it.
Yeah. That's true.
Right?
All right, before we go, I want to tell a little story.
Okay.
So last weekend we didn't do the pod, we had Zach Cherry on, but 2 weekends ago I had my cousin's communion.
That's beautiful.
It was very cute. This is a very May activity,
Yeah, I guess I would.
especially on Staten Island.
That's nice.
I would say.
It's nice to see the family.
Very nice to see the family. I'm in Jersey.
I don't really care about communions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I didn't go to the mass or anything.
It was fun as a little kid being like, I'm going to be able to drink wine.
Oh, yeah. I guess I didn't do that.
You didn't.
No.
For me, I was very excited to drink wine.
That's cute.
Speaking to deeper issues.
Yeah.
If you're excited for communion because you can't wait to drink wine,
That's probably
we got to address something
escape
else.
from reality.
We got to be like, okay, we need real intervention besides God.
Yeah. So I'm talking to my 8-year-old cousin at her communion, and she's like, Wabi, I have something embarrassing. And I'm like, hey, she's 8. So she really leans into the New York accent. We're at a table of 30 people that are all mainly born and raised in either Brooklyn or Staten Island.
Uh-huh.
And she has the thickest accent out of all of them. And it almost sounds like when you really ham up your accent, I'm like, is she performing for me, this New York accent?
She knows what you like.
She moved from Staten Island to Jersey in the past year,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, is she just like really beefing up the accent when she moved away from Staten
It's
Island?
a form of protest.
I think it low key
I get it.
is.
I get it. It's a form of
She's
protest.
literally got the
She's not
thickest
gonna
accent.
go on a hunger strike.
Yeah,
She's going to go on a vowel strike.
yeah.
I'm
She didn't
striking,
say a
never
vowel.
pronouncing an R.
She did not say a vowel the entire dinner.
Yeah.
She's like, Wow, we have to tell you something embarrassing. And I'm like, all right, what's going on, Mia? And she's like, it happened a long time ago. And I'm like, all right, what happened? She's like, when I was in kindergarten. I'm like, okay. She's like, I liked this guy in my class. I had a crush on this boy in my class.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, okay, Mia, what happened? And she goes, that's it. And I'm like,
That's it.
I'm like, honestly, you know what? You're so right. That is embarrassing. I was like, don't do that again. Don't have a crush. And then she starts laughing. I'm like, it is embarrassing to have a crush on somebody.
Yeah.
You're right. That is the whole feeling of having a crush on somebody, is just being embarrassed.
It is.
Everything that you do, I think it's like such an embarrassing feeling.
She was able to articulate it, something that, because we equate it to other stuff, but through fresh eyes,
it almost clicked in my brain. I'm like, she's a genius.
Crushes are just about being embarrassed.
It really is embarrassing to just have a crush.
To think about
every
someone
day,
a lot.
100%.
That's
so embarrassing.
And be like, they're probably not thinking about me, but I'm
Definitely
thinking about
not.
them.
Yup. It's
to get nervous to speak to somebody.
It's so embarrassing.
That you're peers with. That's embarrassing.
I agree. I know. And then she's like, yeah, I stopped. I realized he was ugly. And I'm like, that's nice. But
well, there you go.
Whatever you got to tell yourself to get out of it.
Sure.
But I was like, you know what? You're so right. That is embarrassing. Don't do it again. And then she starts laughing. But
nice.
Yeah, it was cute. It was cute. I think I remember when I had my first communion, I was like, oh, this was one of my favorite days because you're young at the time. And it's like all my friends came together and my family and my cousin, like all the different cousins and different friends kind of all came together for the first time.
Yeah.
I guess like maybe your first birthday that happens, but you don't really remember that.
So
I remember being like, oh, that was such a good day in my early life. And my sister sent me like a text that she texted our cousin being like, that was the best day of my life, the day of her communion. And I was like, that was sweet.
That your cousin texted your sister.
This 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, that was the best day of my life. I had so much fun seeing my cousins. And I was like, that's very sweet.
That is nice.
It made me happy that I went and like, I entertain her.
Well, it's good to
my cousin. Here we go. No, not like I entertain her like I'm the performer. I entertain her as in I let her entertain me. Actually.
Okay, that's the
my cousin, like her parents, I would say are very mild mannered, very like soft spoken, quiet people, and my cousin is like kind of a performer.
The young girl.
The young girl. She likes to talk. She's like, she has stories.
And
she has little things,
behavior.
and I encourage. I'm curious about
she likes
it.
that.
She likes to be.
That is nice. It's good to have someone encouraging you.
Yeah, of course. And I'm like, you are a star. Tell me more. Like,
it's amazing.
So, and I think that aspect of it is nice.
That is great.
Yeah.
Now, Robbie, the one thing is,
I'm not taking credit.
Well, I was going to say this.
Okay.
If you really want to be a star,
what?
If you want her to be a star, you have to be fucking ruthless.
Yeah, Abby Lee Miller, my little cousin.
If you want her to be a star, you gotta be ruthless.
I don't want to crush her soul, but she is really funny.
Yeah. Well, let her know if she needs an Abby Lee, I'll be there.
Okay.
If she really wants to get funny, I'll be there.
I'm sure.
Wow. Well, thanks. Yeah, that's nice that she has you to hype her up.
Yeah, definitely.
To do those things.
Yeah, my cousin's like, I don't know where she came from.
Staten
She
Island.
doesn't shut up. You think it's Staten Island?
Yeah.
Just like going to school every day. Yeah. But maybe other kids are like that. I think
100%.
she is the
parents
alpha,
are like
though.
that.
Or maybe the parents.
Teachers are like that.
Yeah, you're right.
What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah.
The aides
It doesn't need to
are
be
like that.
Yeah, you're right.
Everyone's like that.
Yeah.
The crossing guard.
Yeah.
The librarian.
Yeah, you're right.
A Staten Island librarian.
Yeah, that's true.
Will make a Midwest librarian shudder in fear.
That's true.
They will shudder in fear. The librarian in my elementary school in Staten Island could scream so loud that the windows would naturally close without anyone touching them.
It doesn't need to come from the parents. There's plenty of people on Staten Island.
The first time, the librarian taught me about the Dewey Decimal System and what shut the fuck up meant in Staten Island. Right? I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, you're right.
So, at the end of the day...
Where does she come from? Staten Island is the answer.
That's the answer.
That is the answer.
The home of the
performative
Gavones.
accent. Yeah.
The home of the louder, the prouder.
Yeah. Yeah. Just not shutting up. I was a very curious kid too, and it got shut down sometimes. So I also want to tend to that.
That's good.
And give her space to do that. But no, it was fun. It was nice to see the fam.
Well, that's beautiful. I'm happy that you got to go do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you all for tuning into this episode. I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your week. If you want to share the podcast with a friend, that'll be great. We'd really appreciate that over here. That's important so we could continue to keep growing and getting new people involved. If you want to comment on the YouTube video, that would mean a lot to us. Or just comment.
Yeah, keep commenting on everything.
Yeah, I love
Send
that.
it to a friend. Send the Zach Cherry episode if they like Severance.
And
if they love Abby Lee Miller, send them this episode.
I mean, send it to Abby.
Please.
Someone get this to Abby.
All right, ASAP.
And we're gonna hop over to Patreon, do an episode over there. If you want to check out the Patreon, we do a weekly episode over there. We have a bunch of stuff. But if not, we totally get that. Beautiful, Robbie. Hit the music.